Liam, can we do a pledge? Because we're not always good at this. But listen to me. When we're arguing, let's try not to talk over each other. Okay? I'm saying try because I'm thinking about the poor listeners. Yes, you might need to be. Yeah. So you might need to be like, calm down. Peace.
Yeah, don't kill each other. Try not to talk over each other. And we're entitled to tell you off if you do.
Yes.
Hello and welcome to Sunday Lunch. I'm Natalie.
I'm Kirsty.
I'm Liam.
And I'm Rachel.
And as you may have noticed, we have a guest on our show today.
One too many hellos.
Yes, Rachel is our guest visitor, and she has requested the topic Star Wars for today.
I like how you speak about that like it's an alien quantity.
It is.
Star Wars.
It is to me.
There's one person in the room who's not seen any at all.
Which is why I'm manning the questions.
Why?
Okay, so as I can see by this lovely list that Rachel's written out for me, there are a lot of Star Wars films.
Correct.
So I want to ask, how did you guys come across Star Wars?
You want to go first? You're the guest.
Okay, yeah, sure. I can't fix the first time I ever saw a Star Wars film, but I know I watched them when I was very young on VHS, and I think the first one I probably remember watching is Return of the Jedi, which I really liked when I was a small child because it had very cute teddy bears in it called Ewoks, and it had a princess with long pretty hair, which I really liked, and it had tree houses, which I freaking loved.
Yeah,
so it was amazing. And then at some point I watched all of the original trilogy films, so A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, as well as Return of the Jedi. I also watched the made-for-TV Ewok movies, which are masterpieces of cinema.
They
are truly incredible. They're about a 5-year-old girl named Sindel, who is, I think her whole family dies, and she is left to be brought up amongst the Ewoks. And then she meets a lovely old man who adopts her, and it all ends very nicely, and it's all very warm and lovely. And it's not a film that would be made today in a million years. And actually, just a piece of trivia, this is a slight aside, so I hope you can forgive me. But there's a new Star Wars film coming out at the end of this year called Rogue One, and the director of that is called Gareth Edwards. And I read an interview of him in Empire magazine, and he said that in his office at Lucasfilm, he keeps the poster for the Ewoks' Caravan of Courage on the wall to remind himself that that's how bad things could go.
What not to do.
That's brilliant.
So he knows, as long as he makes film that's better than Caravan of Courage, he's still good.
Alright.
Yeah. So
basically, what not to do in a movie.
Yeah, exactly. And then I saw the prequels when they came out on DVD, and then I saw The Force Awakens in cinemas 8 times. And became
8 times?
8 times, yeah.
That's
became
some level of
absolutely
commitment.
obsessive,
Wow.
and I love it.
Wow.
So, yeah, and that's enough from me.
As you can tell, Rachel's a big fan.
That's why she requested the topic.
Liam, how did you come across it?
Mine was one of my older brothers. We went to an old video shop in Chard, and he said, "Okay, pick a film." And he mentioned Star Wars, and naturally I didn't pick the one that was the first one. I picked The Empire Strikes Back.
Because why not?
I must have been drawn to it, and yeah, I again watched them all out of order because they just re-released them in the cinema as well. So I watched The Empire Strikes Back, followed by Return of the Jedi, and then I watched A New Hope like 6 months later. So unfortunately, it didn't have the same impact. With the twists in them and stuff like that, it didn't have the same impact. And yeah, during my formative years, all the prequels came out, and I went to see all of them. And I didn't actually see The Force Awakens until I went around Rachel's.
Shame.
Yeah.
Shame.
Yeah. Shame on me. I know. But so that's where my Star Wars came in. Obviously, I play video games and stuff like that as well. Which we might touch on later.
Yeah.
Which I know nothing about, so I would be the ignorant one for that segment.
You wouldn't be the only one.
So, Kirsty, I know you've seen some of the films.
I hold my hand up to only having actually seen 3 of them. Episodes 1, 3, and 4.
But in all fairness, you
yeah.
missed the worst one.
Yeah, you dodged a bullet in Attack of the Clones.
Yeah, not deliberately, because I had no idea. But no, I was originally watching it, and I had a friend when I was at school who was on the obsessive scale with it, and I remember sitting in his bedroom when I was a teenager watching the beginning of The Phantom Menace, kind of going, what am I watching? They're wandering around in a desert, what's happening?
Not quite as enamoured as us.
Not originally, but then again, you didn't watch The Phantom Menace first.
Precisely, yes. No.
I did then get around to later, I think I was watching on my own account Revenge of the Sith on TV, which is at least slightly more exciting.
Yeah.
And then I finally got round to watching A New Hope as well, which, actually in the right realm of films to watch.
You're gradually upgrading as you go along. So
yes, I will get round to seeing them all at some point.
Don't you find it confusing with all the different... You've got the chronological order and then you have the release order. Isn't that confusing?
It's not confusing to me, but that's because I'm obsessed.
It just makes sense to you.
I do remember you scolding said friend while we were at school of why are you making her watch that one first? I do remember that conversation.
That's amazing. I do not remember that.
I have a memory of it somewhere because I just remember kind of going, there's another order to watch them in.
I'd actually forgotten that he was a Star Wars obsessive. But I can't really forgive him for showing you Phantom Menace first.
I think it happened to be on the TV, and so he just kind of went, you know what, watch it. And it's like,
no.
Hence why apparently these two were explaining to me which films I was watching, and I was like, that's not how I remember the beginning going. So apparently I actually missed the very beginning anyway.
Yeah.
So.
Fair enough.
No,
false memories.
It's not too difficult. I mean, when they released them and it's episode 4, 5, and 6, well, they didn't know if they were going to be as big as they were, and they exploded onto the scene.
Yeah.
With prequels anyway, it's always a tricky subject because you sort of know the story, and if you watch it all the way through, it's sort of coherent. I mean, there are some gaps because obviously there's like a 20-year gap between episode 6 and episode 1, so you sort of sat there going, that doesn't fit, but oh well, we'll just roll with it.
Yeah. So I think that's actually part of the problem with the prequels. So it's like Liam just said, it's all preordained. Because obviously with the prequels, it's the story of a character that we already know from the original films. And it's the story of seeing how he became an evil person. So you know what the end point is at the start of those films.
There's no mystery of is he going to be redeemed or not.
He's finding out how he gets to
you know
where
he's going to become Darth Vader. You know he's going to get to a point where he wears the mask.
Even as me, of having never seen the original films, watching, which one was it, Revenge of the Sith? I'm looking at the crib sheet here. I'm that bad. Watching that one, I was kind of going, how soon before he turns into Darth Vader? Basically, I had never seen any other films, and I still know.
Exactly. It's just so iconic at this point that even if you know virtually nothing...
I'm the same. I mean, the bits I do know are from, like, Weird Al songs, or
that's how I know most of it as well.
Most of it I know from, like, Weird Al songs. I sort of know what's going on.
Do you know who Luke Skywalker's father is, for example, Natalie?
Yes, I do. Well, I wouldn't know the exact details, but yes, I basically know. I probably do, but I can't remember.
Darth Vader.
No, I thought you meant his actual name.
Oh, I
know it's Darth Vader. I just mean his actual name. I don't know his.
No, and basically.
There you go. See, I know it now.
The song is called Anakin Guy.
Yeah. Oh, you just said that. I didn't know you said that.
No, and basically, I asked you that because, like you say, you know virtually nothing about Star Wars. But because our culture is so saturated with it,
with the wrong line,
everyone knows
because
that Darth Vader is Luke Skywalker's father.
You asked, do you know his father's name? I don't think Darth Vader. I think, wait, what is his actual name? Because that's the nerd coming out.
What was his Skywalker name?
Yeah, what's his Skywalker name? It's something Skywalker.
You think it's like a trick question almost? Yeah.
So
because everybody knows the wrong line.
Yeah.
As there are so many of them, and you clearly enjoy them, why do you like them so much? What is it about these films that you like?
For me, it very much differs for depending on which film you're talking about. Because I don't really enjoy the prequels much.
No.
I can watch them, and I do think there are good elements. I think the prequels are very visually impressive, but story-wise there's so many problems. In terms of acting, there's so many problems, and there's lots of reasons why I struggle to get through them. And if I were to just say, I want to watch a Star Wars film to relax, I would never say go to Attack of the Clones. It just would not happen. So yeah, like
I've not
I
even
can't,
seen it and I'm laughing.
I can't really talk about enjoying the prequels because beyond some like admiration of the artistic merits of like the visuals, I don't really enjoy those films.
No.
Then with the original trilogy, again, it pretty much varies by film. Like there's a lot of like nostalgia going on. Return of the Jedi is the most nostalgic for me because, as I explained when I first explained how I got into Star Wars, that was the first one I saw, and I really like the cute teddy bears, and I really like the princess, and so on and so forth.
I think it's quite common to like the first one you come across when you're reading a series or watching a series or something.
No, exactly.
It's always the first one.
No, it's easy to become like attached in that way.
It's comforting to go back to it.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a comfort blanket.
Yeah.
And then like the one like I enjoy the most as like a film, as like a cinematic achievement is The Empire Strikes Back, because that's very, very well constructed, it's beautifully directed, it's well written, it has great characterization, basically ticks all the boxes. And then with Force Awakens, I love that for so many reasons, but it's strange because when I first saw it in the cinema, I wasn't that impressed.
Okay.
But it was kind of weird.
And yet you still went to see it 8 times.
You had to make sure.
Yeah. Well, you see, it's a weird story because before the film came out, because I was already a big Star Wars fan, I'd been following spoilers for the film.
Right.
So I had basically spoiled all of the main plot beats and all of the main twists in this film before I went to see it.
Yeah.
So when I watched it, it was kind of like a strange, almost feeling like of emptiness, if you know what I mean. It's very weird, hard to articulate. But then I thought, no, I want to try and watch this again. Like, now I kind of know how it's executed.
Yeah.
Because there's a difference between knowing, like, something is a sentence on a page. Like, Rey finds the droid.
Yeah.
And, like, refuses to sell it.
Yeah.
There's a big difference between knowing that, like, on an intellectual level and actually seeing how it's, like, portrayed in the film and acted and everything.
Yeah.
And then when I went in for the second time in that frame of mind, just thinking, okay, just treat this as it is, try to let go of all those preconceptions, I enjoyed it so much more.
Wow.
And I was able to just, like, really, like, get into it and enjoy the characters. And there's also so many other aspects to why I enjoy The Force Awakens, and it has a female lead.
Yeah.
Which means an awful lot to me, like as a girl who's always loved Star Wars, because obviously culturally Star Wars has always been
there
a boys
is a big
thing.
cultural thing about it now though.
Yeah.
I've got to say I love that about it on principle without ever actually having seen it.
Exactly, yeah.
No, I'm the same as well. It always made me laugh, especially in the build-up to the film, because you had John Boyega and Daisy Ridley were announced as the leads, and everyone was up in arms because, you know, you had a person of colour and a woman leading these films. Yeah. They're like, oh no, it's ruining our man play. And, you know, people are like, oh yeah, he's an over-actor. It's like you haven't seen any of the film and like we saw 30-second segments in trailers and he doesn't say anything and people are saying, oh, he's overacting. You're like, what?
You haven't done anything yet.
It's frustrating, and it made me laugh when, with Rogue One, which is coming out next year, that's also a female
It's coming
lead.
out in December.
December, sorry.
I might have to get my
Thanks
actually
for
and watch some of
correcting.
these.
But that's also got a female lead, and I think it's good to have you have such a big story.
Yeah.
Why do we have to limit it to such a narrow choice of characters?
Yeah.
This is like a space. It's different races, everything, and yet we have to stick to these same characters. No, it's rubbish.
Yeah.
Absolute rubbish.
I've been very entertained watching
and there's
William
also
do this.
just one more thing I wanted to say about why I enjoyed The Force Awakens. Like, again, there's loads of reasons, but the other main reason is I absolutely love what they did with the villain. I'll go into this more in the character segment that we get onto later, and Liam will disagree with me. But I just really love the villain because of how he deconstructs everything you'd expect of a Star Wars villain.
Okay.
And I just found it really fascinating because
Liam would like
Liam's
to
face is already
counter that,
objecting,
but
but
not
exactly,
yet.
yeah, but
Save it for later.
like it's not Liam's turn, so I have my moment. And basically, obviously, in Star Wars, you have the most iconic villain of all time, and it's not an exaggeration to say that Darth Vader is that. Everyone knows who Darth Vader is. You know who Darth Vader is. And it's like, how could they ever follow that up, essentially? So what on earth were they going to do with this character? And I was just really impressed by how they
Okay.
did it, and I found the character really interesting and really compelling.
Liam, what do you like about
What like about
the
what?
films?
All the films. I thought you meant The Force Awakens.
Why do you like Star Wars?
I suppose you sort of touched on it. It's the character side of things. You see, when you're a small child and you see this giant, dark suited man with his helmet, and he's like this all powerful, and he has that presence. I remember watching A New Hope for the first time, and I'd never seen him enter before. I already knew he was terrifying.
Yeah.
But when he enters during A New Hope, that is so iconic because he just comes in, he's silent, the music's blaring with the Imperial March, I believe.
I think so.
I'm trying to
I think that's right.
Everybody knows what music that is.
Yeah. And you just know that he is the main guy. He's the main bad guy. This is the guy you're gonna have to watch out for. He's gonna be the pain in the backside. And yeah, I don't hate the prequels as much, apart from Attack of the Clones, which was awful. But Phantom Menace visually had some really good things. I suppose when I grew up with it as a teenager, my taste in film compared to now is completely different. I thought it was cool that some guy had a double-edged lightsaber and is fighting two guys at once, because I'd never seen that in a Star Wars film. And it was something new, and I really enjoyed it. And I think it's like the story itself is quite good in places, and it gets hijacked a bit in the older films by characters like Han Solo and Lando Calrissian and people like that, but it's they sort of bring something else to the story, which is what I really liked. And The Force Awakens is quite interesting. When I first watched it, I was sort of indifferent to it almost, and I've thought to it, having watched it a couple more times since, but I don't know, it was something different about it. It didn't have the same feel for me, but I still quite enjoyed it. Whether it continues like that, I don't know, but it's sort of seeing Rogue One trailers, that sort of got me more hyped now back for Star Wars, because it finished for me. When Revenge of the Sith happened, I thought that was it.
I suppose it's the revival, isn't it, really? Yeah.
And do you think with Rogue One that it might partly be because that is going back to that time just before A New Hope, and it's going back to Darth Vader, and it's going back to all those familiar things?
Or is he going to be in it for about 2 minutes?
He is in it. He's confirmed to be in it.
Yeah, but he was also in Revenge of the Sith for about 30 seconds. So,
But I can tell from how you're speaking about Darth Vader that he is probably going to be one of the main draws for you. Like his excitement about seeing that character again.
Yeah, I know, but it shouldn't be just about him, though. I don't see it as just about Darth Vader. It's technically his story, because you've got when he's sort of growing up, and then it's a father-son thing as well. And,
are you an angel?
Yeah.
That's a quote from Phantom Menace.
I guessed it was a quote.
God,
excellent.
Cringy writing. I can't say much about cringy writing. This is the guy who watches wrestling, but you can tell with the older films that the writing is so much better, presumably because someone took him and said, no, this is rubbish, rewrite that, because I am not saying it. Whereas in the newer films, he had this all sort of awe-inspiring thing, and he could do whatever he wanted. It just seemed like he wrote down the first thing and went, that'll do, and just did it. And
the prequels is George Lucas without a leash.
Yes.
With no oversight.
No
one
one
say
He
no.
has some good ideas. The pod racing in Phantom Menace is amazing to watch. You watch it on a big screen. Well, no, if you watch it in the cinema with all the sounds and stuff, I thought it was incredible.
Yes, I never saw it in the cinema, so
on a tiny box-sized TV, it's not so great.
Yeah.
So, pretty boring, to be honest, on a laptop-sized screen.
It goes on. Sorry, Liam.
Yeah. Well,
Sorry.
We're allowed to have different opinions.
Exactly. Yeah.
I saw it in a totally different way.
And you
than
saw
guys.
it in the cinema, and that makes such a difference.
Yeah, it does.
It does.
It does.
So these films really because you get some films that you can watch anywhere, whether it's TV or anything. So these are really designed for cinema, for that big.
I think the prequels more so. The older ones are definitely ones you could sit down on your laptop and watch them because they have something more to them. They're more substance over style, I would say.
Yeah.
Also, you don't want to see the old special effects quite that big anymore.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Some of the special effects are a bit dated.
Okay.
We'll go with dated.
Yeah.
It's the kindest way.
The size of my quite living room size TV of this day and age is probably about as big as you want to see it these days, I would say.
I definitely think that it's true to a certain extent. You get more from Star Wars films watching them on a big screen, because my best viewing of The Force Awakens was my last one, which is at the Science Museum in London.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
and it was on 35mm IMAX.
Yeah.
And it was incredible. It was just the most amazing thing.
Wow.
I can't describe. It's such a huge image. It's just overwhelming.
That's gotta be amazing.
It was amazing, and you can't compare it to like Yeovil City Hall.
You can't.
It's just, it's like it's just like a different quadrant. It's so incredible, and like it makes it so much more like visceral.
Yeah.
And like you really, really feel it. Because I'm not sure like how my feelings about Force Awakens would have been if I'd only seen it as Liam did on a small screen.
Yeah.
Because like it's not just a question of like, are the effects good or not? It's just a question of like, does this film really absorb you? Does it take you into this alien world? And does it really transport you?
Yeah, I suppose
like,
having the big screen, that means it's like you are put in that world.
Exactly.
And,
And I definitely think you can still enjoy Force Awakens just as much on a small screen. But I think there's something about that initial impact.
It's a complete different scale.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Literally.
Yeah, that kind of ties in what you're saying, that the drawing everything, you're drawing you into this massive world is part of, I think, what makes me like Star Wars, even having not seen all of it. It's just this hint of this massive universe that's going on. Precisely. I love epic fantasy.
I was going to say, we all know you like big worlds.
This is why I have a desire to watch more of it than I have seen already.
Yeah, sure.
Because, I've seen the edges of this other massive world that's happening out here. You know. It's got space cowboys in it. Come on. You've got renegades wandering across space and armies and princesses, and it's everything you need from a big fantasy epic in space.
Exactly. Like Star Wars is really just a fairy tale with sci-fi trappings. Essentially,
it's a sci-fi fairy tale.
Yeah, exactly. It's just with extra technology and stuff strapped on. Like they might as well like hit up wield swords rather than lightsabers. Yeah.
So fantasy in the future rather than the past.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Which is part of what makes it so unique.
But that's what I like about it in a nutshell, basically.
Yeah.
Having not seen enough of it to really go into characters and arcs and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Well, we'll move on to The Force Awakens, which is the 2015 movie, the most recent one that came out. So, Liam and Rachel, I'd like you to give us a brief
no killing each other.
Brief review of brief review of the film. Just so, Rachel, go.
Okay, I'll try not to be too long, because obviously I already brought this up earlier. But I really liked it. I enjoyed it much more with each fresh viewing, because the first time I saw it, I wasn't swept away as I wanted to be. But then subsequent times I really got into it. And I loved Rey, who's the lead female protagonist. She's really vulnerable, and she's like there's something very raw about her in a way. Like she feels like so lost and lonely, and you really feel that because all of that is conveyed visually. Like she lives in a desert, she lives all by herself, and you just like see her going through her daily routine and having this meal by herself, and it's like, what on earth led to this young woman being completely isolated like this on this like desert world, and like that immediately creates intrigue and mystery there. And then she's the heroine, so we basically follow her story throughout the film. And then she meets various friends, including Finn and Han Solo. Then they have to go on an adventure to get a special map to the Brave Resistance, as is often the case in these things. And then all the while they're being pursued by the First Order and Kylo Ren in particular, who's the main dark side character.
Okay.
It's very it moves very quickly. It's very fast paced. But I mean that in a good way. Like it's fast paced, like it's in like a really fun like adventure film. Like it doesn't like leave too much time to like let you get bored. Essentially, but at the same time it has really nice character moments. and you really buy the characters as friends, and you buy that they're bonding, and that they, by the end of the film, they really care about each other.
Okay.
And like, while there are various derivative elements of The Force Awakens, like there's lots of visual callbacks to the original films, for example. So it is very much playing on people's nostalgia. I do think there are enough like original elements to like make it stand on its own.
Yeah.
Like, it's very visually interesting sometimes in certain scenes. And I think the main thing that is strong about it is the characters. Yeah. Like, because they are new kinds of characters for Star Wars. So you have the young woman who's the hero. You have her stormtrooper friend, who's a renegade on the run from this big scary evil organisation, and he's obviously played by a black man, as Liam touched on earlier, and like that alone is all new ground for Star Wars. But irrespective of like the gender or the ethnicity, they are just like good characters, and you buy that they care about each other.
So the characters have been very well designed.
I think so. They're not perfect. There are certain elements to the characterization that could be clearer or that seem a bit inconsistent. Yeah. But it's almost like you really don't care that much because the actors are really charismatic and you just like these people so much that you want to watch them.
I've seen like snippets from interviews and things with them, and they all seem the actors and actresses, they all seem pretty down to earth, but at the same time they're pretty easygoing and they're quite and that always helps. So Liam, what's your review?
Well, to put it shortly, it's sort of a remake of A New Hope, but it almost needed to be. I mean, they could have taken a huge risk with the film and gone completely different, but you don't know how people are going to react to it because it's such an iconic universe. You don't want to stray too far from it because you'll alienate the viewers. And for me, when I first watched it, as I said, I wasn't entirely thrilled. There were good moments. Obviously, the lead characters were really good. It was quite nice having the occasional nostalgic moment. Perhaps they touched on that a bit too much, but if it's a continuation of the story, you sort of have to. I, however, didn't like the villain, and this is one thing I do go into quite a lot. I thought the villain was very lackluster, but given that, as you touched on earlier, Rachel, you said about Darth Vader being such an iconic character, I think going into this film, unfortunately, that was what I had in my head. Yeah. And anything that they would have put in front of me, it just seemed a bit almost samey, like they were too scared to deviate from a different villain. There are differences in his character, but for me, there's a part where he unmasks, and that sort of lost his fear factor for me, and I suddenly thought, you're not that scary anymore. Yeah.
I had heard about that. Yeah, I've heard throughout the internet.
Because when he's first there, he sort of has his moment where he comes out, and you're like, it's a bit of a play, but we'll go with it. And he sort of starts all right, and then the mask comes off, and it's like,
Next time on Sunday Lunch.
Right. Can I talk about Kylo Ren now?
Go for it.
What do you think of him?